councillors just to remain silent for a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you. You may be seated.
It is hereby notified that the second ordinary meeting of the City of Johannesburg Municipal Council will be held at the Constance Koniba Bella Council Chamber at the Metropolitan Center, Braamfontein, on Thursday, 24th February 2022 at 10:00 hours, in line with Directive 6.7 of the regulations issued by the Minister of Culture on the 3rd of July 2020, read together with adjusted Level 1 regulations issued by the Minister of Culture on the 30th of December 2021. 1. Opening.
Thank you very much. In terms of Rule 7 of the Standing Orders and Rules of Council, 2016, Precincts of Council. The Precincts of Council is the area of land and every building or part of a building under the legislature's control, including the chamber in which the proceedings of council are conducted, and galleries and lobbies of chambers, committee rooms and other meeting places provided or used primarily for council purposes. Every other building or part of a building provided or used in connection with the proceedings of council, while so used, and every part of buildings in which the chambers are situated, and every forecourt, yard, garden, enclosure, or open space opportunent thereto, insofar as it may be necessary in a case where council or committees convene beyond the seat of council. These rules shall apply as if the premises where council or committees are meeting were within the precincts of council. I therefore declare all venues where the councillors are connecting for this council meeting as precincts of council. Opening. Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg. I see she's not here yet. Councillor Mpegas, Whip of Council, Councillor Tyrell Meyers, Chair of Chairs, Councillor Colleen Mcbella, all political party leaders and whips, members of the Mayoral Committee, chairpersons of committees, council, Mrs. Vicky Shipping, officials of the City of Johannesburg, residents of the City of Johannesburg, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the second ordinary meeting of the City of Johannesburg Municipal Council. Fellow councillors and residents, every year in the month of February, we pay tribute to the men of the SS Mendi who perished, having paid the ultimate sacrifice, having ordered their service and lives of peace in our world during World War I. The sinking of troop ship Mendi on the night of the 22nd of February 1917 saw more than 600 men of the South African Native Labour Corps lose their lives. This was the largest single loss of life for the non-combatants in the Sunlight during the First World War. The extent of the loss of life in Mendi disaster established its status as a national tragedy in South Africa, which even briefly that day their spirits of life on, and we will therefore honor the memory in a befitting manner that they deserve. Ladies and gentlemen, while we continue with the process of community-based planning sessions, I wish to commend residents, chairpersons of committees, and officials of the satisfactory outcome of the sessions that have occurred thus far. Although not without challenges, these sessions have been robust and informative, and I wish to encourage more residents to participate in the upcoming CBPs and IDPs, because not only will you be exercising your democratic right, but can assure you that your voice will be heard through these processes. For more detail on these sessions, please visit the City of Johannesburg website and local media platforms. Councillors, the city remains committed to getting the basics right, beginning with a clean governance. Therefore, the 21st annual meeting was held by the Executive Mayor on the 15th of February 2022. The AGM saw capable new board members being appointed with the aim to bring stability and accountability within the city's entities and to ensure that services are delivered speedily to our residents. This also a step in the right direction towards improved governance following the unfortunate outcome of the Auditor General's report. The AG's report indicates that the city had incurred irregular expenditure of nearly 3 billion rand during the 2020-2021 financial year, with none of the entities receiving a clean audit. Really sad. Ladies and gentlemen, the change must start from within our structures, and the arm of the legislature will continue to do oversight over the executive, through our committees to enhance accountability. Councillors, I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the loss of life as a result of the devastating floods in Ivory Park on the 18th of February. Not only were lives lost, but many have lost their livelihoods. I would like to thank disaster management, EMS, JMPD, JRA, Social Development, Housing, the Regional Director and the Gift of Givers, and all NGOs that assisted in the provision of food, blankets, and other necessities. I would also like to thank the Executive Mayor and MMC Tembe, and all the councillors in Ivory Park, Councillors Kupe, Maluleke, and Makamu, for their assistance. Finally, councillors, please be reminded of the elections of the Municipal Public Accounts Committee and the Finance Section 79 Committee Chairpersons in terms of Rule 24 of the Standing Orders and Rules of Council. With those words, you are all welcome. Councillors, please note that I have received the request in terms of Rule 64 of the Standing Rules and Orders of Council from the Executive to add 3 additional reports as urgent reports, which are items 14, 15, and 16, and I have acceded to the request. And at this point, can legal assist with confirmation of the number of councillors who have attended the meeting so as to verify a quorum? Councillors, I'm going to give 5 minutes for them to check outside. If there's any whips, to please also verify with them. It would assist. Thank you. Councillors, there seemed to have been a misunderstanding by councillors. There is 2 registers outside. The second register have not been signed, and I'd really urge us at this time that those that have not signed both registers, please to go outside and sign it. I'll give you enough time just to do that. I am also guilty of that.
Speaker. Councillor Dagama.
agree to the Section 79 chairpersons, and there was a consensus. So, kadi 18th January, we had made a recommendation for created the subcommittees, which you downplayed and subject yourself. But fortunately, no, we have ethics committee. So I would like you to indicate to Council when are you going to account for ethics committee, because we have taken the resolution. Thank you.
Councillor Matt, at this point, we are busy with the minutes, and the part that you think is omitted from the minutes, please correct that and not have a general discussion around issues that you mentioned or think you mentioned. Please correct the minutes where you think.
Thank you so much, Speaker. It's not general. What I said is the true reflection of what I said previously.
Which
Speaker,
part?
in the absence of
Which part? Page
13. Will I go page 13?
Page 30?
13, 1-3. Page 1-3. Page 14.
Okay, what are you correcting? Page 1-3.
What's reflecting here, Councillor Ahmad Al-Jama addressed council and recommended that. What is it that I recommended? What I recommended, you need to create subcommittees and subject yourself to account so that there could be proper oversight in the absence of ethics committee. So this is where I am. Whatever I'm saying now is the true reflection of what I said in the previous council, which is omitted here. And you are always downplaying it.
Well, Councillor Matt, at this point, I cannot verify the recordings and obviously what was written in the minutes itself. And that's why I'm asking you to rectify what you think is wrong with the precise area within the minutes. And obviously, if it was not captured, it actually means that you were unaudible. Also remember that the meeting was quite disruptive during that period. So whatever you said to yourself and is not recorded. And maybe that's why there is dots right next to it.
Thank you, Speaker. It appears temporary amnesia playing here in council. So remember, when we came from caucus, after Councillor MMC Funzingubeni spoke, Councillor Moarani stood and he pleaded for give Councillor Ahmad an opportunity to speak. Then when I spoke, there was never an interruption at the time.
Councillor Ahmad, at this point, would you propose amendments? And we will make corrections according to what is on the recording device and what is there. But at this point, it seems as if, the minutes were correctly spelled out as it is, unless you are able to provide the necessary in written form, please.
Speaker, the transcript, one, and then at this point, it's not the matter of the omission, but it is, did you do the right thing to subject yourself to ethics? Because we have an ethics committee now.
There is no matters arising, please.
It's not a matter arising.
Can you take your seat?
This is legally binding, Speaker. It's a resolution taken by council.
No, there was no resolution taken on this. Councillor, will you please take your seat, Councillor? There's a point of order. Thank you. Councillor Christians.
Thank you, Speaker. Good morning to everybody. Speaker, I'm rising on Rule 72.1, which states, a councillor may raise a point of order to call to the attention of the presiding officer to a breach of the rules governing procedures or conduct of councillors during council meeting. Speaker, you started off very well this morning in that you corrected Councillor Ahmed that he's not on the list. But you have also been very lenient in allowing him to speak to correct the minutes. Speaker, Councillor Ahmed is now abusing us by now breaching the process of council for questions. If he has questions to council, there is a process and procedure that needs to be followed. And as a former MMC, he should know this and not suffer from temporary amnesia. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Agreed. Can we move forward, councillors? I'm now going
Speaker, I'm on the platform.
ask
Can we
a
take a point of
question.
order? Speaker,
Councillor Ahmad, no.
you said I should sit because there's a point of order, so I'm
No,
still on the
please-
platform.
please take your
Please
seat.
protect me, Speaker, from yourself.
Please
So,
take your seat,
Speaker,
Councillor.
we have taken a resolution, Kadi 27th.
Councillor, I'm saying again,
No.
I'm saying again, please indicate what was omitted.
Thank you so much. Kadi 27th, we have taken a resolution as council.
Councillor,
Kadi minutes.
please speak to the minutes.
I'm speaking
What
to
is
the
written
minutes,
here?
Speaker. I'm speaking to what is written here.
Yeah,
Speaker.
what you said. What you said.
Oh, Speaker.
Please add or remove what you said. Don't
I've
give us a
already
long
added,
story.
For the Speaker, what was omitted here, ke gore you must create the subcommittees and subject yourself in the absence of ethics committee, which you haven't done to date.
Is that it?
Come again?
Is that what you said?
That's what is supposed to be reflected
Okay.
here.
That will be captured. Thank you.
Ethics, Speaker, you must go to ethics. You must capture that also.
There was no resolution on that. Thank you. Please take your seat,
Speaker,
Councillor.
there's a
Please take your seat. Thank you. Right. Is there any other
Yes,
omission
Speaker.
now that I've allowed Councillor Ahmad? Councillor, please state your name.
Okay, thanks, Speaker. Councillor Mongameli Mnyameni from the ANC, the majority party. Speaker, I'm standing on Rule 72. Speaker, I just wanted to concur to Councillor Ahmad. Is omitted, Speaker, what was agreed in this council?
No, Councillor,
Papela,
please take your seat.
what is supposed to be captured here on the minutes, Speaker, is that, Speaker, you must subject yourself to ethics
Councillor,
committee, Speaker.
Councillor,
Can you do
Councillor,
that?
are you correcting minutes or not?
Yes.
No,
They're
you're
not
not
here.
correcting.
They're
Please
not
take
here.
your seat,
They're
Councillor.
not here, Speaker.
No, please take your seat.
They are omitted.
You are
Speaker.
out of order. Completely out of order. Please take your seat. Thank you. Councillors, it's Councillor. Please rise, Councillor. Councillor Stolle, I couldn't see you. It's a bit dark.
Yeah, and I'm wearing a black suit.
Yeah, I can see that.
I am not that. Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I think you have to rule over the point of order that was raised earlier, because the councillors there, it seems like they are continuing misleading the House. There was no resolution taken here saying that the Speaker must go to ethic committees. We did not resolute that, so it's misleading the House. Can you please rule over that? Thank you.
order, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor
Order, Speaker.
Sithole. I'm not going to allow any further debate on this. We are now going straight into the approval of the minutes. Is the minutes therefore approved? Yes. As amended?
Approved.
Councillors, I can't hear you. Is the minutes approved as amended? Thank you. Thank you. The yes have it. Let's move on. Thank you.
Speaker.
Asking for
Item 5, elections of the Municipal Public Accounts Committee and the Finance Section 79 Committee Chairpersons in terms of Rule 24 of the Standing Rules and Orders of Council.
There's a hand, Speaker. There's a hand there. Comrade Tefu, there's a hand of Comrade Tefu, please.
Councillor Tefu.
Thank you, Speaker. In terms of Rule 29.2, I would like to forward an apology for the leader of the opposition, Councillor Morani, who had to rush to Tembisa Hospital to visit Robin Dagama, who's quite sick, and he got a call to come there. So in terms of the rules, it's allowed to, I'll read it for you if you want it, Speaker. It says, on good cause shown. So he got a call to go and visit, I think it's your son, who's in hospital right now. Thank you, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. So noted. Councillor Mabasa.
Thank you very much, Speaker. On the other item, not the apology of. Yes. Thank you very much, Speaker, and greetings to all the colleagues in the meeting. Speaker, we would like to request for a caucus break as the IFP. For 20 minutes, I think it will be fine. 30.
Thank you very much.
Aye, man. Angijima ucela caucus intini.
Thank you very much. Noted. Agreed. Councillors, at this time, we'll break up until at 11:45. Thanks.
Speaker, the aircon are very.
Thank you, councillors. Can we take our seats and settle down, please? Councillor, the figure has moved up a little bit. 257 councillors have signed. There is still spaces. Some other councillors have not signed. If you have not signed the main council meeting list, please go and sign it. There's 257, which basically shows to a shortage of 12. No. Councillor Mabasa.
My apologies, Speaker.
Councillors, there's a bit too much noise in the chambers. Can we just lower our voices? Thank you, Councillor Mbatso. You can continue.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I see Councillor Morane is back. Maybe we'll get a report on the hospital visit. Speaker.
Is out of order. Please, he must withdraw. He didn't send me there.
Okay, thank you very much, Speaker, and to the entire House for allowing us an opportunity to go and caucus as the organization. There were some internal matters that we wanted to address, and we are sorted, and the council can continue with the business of the day.
Thank you, Councillor Mbatso. Councillors, we have received nominations. Please note that the election of the Section 79 Committee's chairpersons will be done in accordance with Rule 24 of the Standing Rules and Orders of Council. In this instance, voting shall be by a show of hands on the basis that the aforesaid positions are not part of Schedule 3 to the Municipal Structures Act of 1998, Act 117 of 1998. The procedure set out in this schedule applies whenever a municipal council meets to elect a speaker, an executive mayor, a deputy executive mayor, a mayor or a deputy mayor, or the whip of council. I have issued nomination forms for all political party whips for political parties to submit nominations for the positions of the chairpersons of MPAC and Finance Section 79 Committee. On MPAC, I have received 3 nominations, and such is Councillor from Councillor Arnolds, seconded by Councillor Ngamanda, nominating Councillor Nontenja. The second nomination is proposed by Councillor Nonhlanhla Radebe, nominating Councillor Musa Novella, and seconded by Councillor Donald Muepi. The third one nominating Councillor Rassi Rute, hereby nominate Councillor Musa Novella, and seconded by Councillor Musitla. And obviously, all three has been signed and accepted. Yeah. Councillors, if at this point, Councillor Arnolds would rise and read out the nomination.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I, Councillor Margaret Sharon Arnolds, hereby nominate the name of Councillor Tandiwe Nontenjwa to be elected as the chairperson of MPAC in accordance with Rule 22 of the Standing Rules and Orders to Council. I thank you.
Councillors, Councillor Guamanda, please to second this.
Thank you, Speaker. I, Councillor Kabelo Kwamanda, would like to second the nomination for Councillor Nontenjwa. Thank you.
Councillor Nontenjwa, do you accept?
Thank you, Speaker. I, Councillor Nontenjwa, accept the nomination. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Khadebe, if you would please rise on the second nomination.
Thank you, Speaker. I, Councillor Nonhlanhla Khadebe, nominates
Arutli.
I, Councillor Nonhlanhla Khadebe, nominates Councillor Musa Nobela to be the chairperson of Mpegas Payroll 22. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Donald Muyepi to second.
Thank you, Speaker. I, Councillor Donald Muepi, stand to second the nomination of Councillor Musa Novella. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Novella, do you accept?
Thank you very much, Speaker. I accept the nomination. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Then there is another nomination for Councillor Musa Novella, Councillor Rasirute.
Kelly was Speaker. I can now it's all Speaker. I'm covered.
Okay, it's withdrawn. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Councillors, is everybody in? All the councillors in the house? Thank you. Those that are outside, if everybody is in, can I please have those doors closed? I know it's very hot inside here. It's boiling. I've asked that they have a look at the aircon and it seems as if we're not getting that right. Can we just close those doors, please? Martin, you closer to the door? Okay. The next one, Councillor Ponsonby, just the doors next to you, just close them. Councillor, we're not there yet. I heard somewhere somebody saying we must ring the bell. We're not there yet. Thank you. Is the other doors closed? Thank you very much. Councillors, can I have those that supports the nomination of Councillor Novella, please raise their hands at this point. Those councillors that supports Councillor Novella, please raise your hands now. Can I have a count from the legal advisors, please? And upstairs? Nobody. Please give me an indication when you're done. Are you done? Yes. Thank you very much, councillors. You can put your hands down. Councillors, those that supports the nomination of Councillor Nontenja, please raise your hands.
Sibone ngani? Khumbulani Brixton.
Skumbule Brixton.
Akumula 16.
Induku zenu lezi.
What goes around comes around.
Obuhlungu obulapha.
Simanxeba yini?
Aniyeka abantwana benkosi bazilile.
Asikisi makubuhlungu.
Buzano Julius.
When you do that,
Ningayenzi so bashonelwe labantu.
councillors, are you finished this side? Can I get an indication from the legal advisors? Are you done this side?
Remember Brixton massacre.
Are you done this side? On my right-hand side? It's done. Yeah, please give me that indication so that you can put your hands down, councillors, except on top. You're all done. Have you brought down the numbers, Z? Thank you.
Askis.
Councillors, any abstentions? Anybody abstaining? Once, twice, no abstentions. Thank you.
Is abstentions right?
No, it's abstinence, not abstentions.
English is on Shire D's. No, niyeka kuseyini.
Thank you, councillors. This is the results. Councillor Novella, 35, and the new chairperson of MPAC is Councillor Nontenja, with 222. Thank you, councillors. With the nomination for the Finance Chairperson, at this point, I've received 2 nominations. The first one from Councillor Arnolds, nominating Councillor Imran Ismail Musa, and the acceptance, and the seconder, Councillor Thandi Nontenja, and the acceptance signed by Councillor Musa. The second nomination is from Councillor Niemand, nominating Councillor Franco de Lange, seconded by Councillor Wendy Alexander. And the acceptance signed by Councillor de Lange. Those are the 2 nominations. We will start with the Councillor Arnold with your proposal. Councillor Arnold, please read out your proposal.
Presiding officer, it's Arnold's.
That's what I said.
You said Arnold.
Maybe you don't hear.
Was my father's name, Arnold. I, Councillor Margaret Sharon Arnolds, hereby nominate the name of Councillor Imran Ismail Musa to be elected as the Chairperson, Finance Section 79 Committee, in accordance with Rule 24 of the Standing Rules and Orders of Council. Thank you.
Councillor Nontenja.
I, Councillor Thandi Nontenja, second the election of Councillor Musa as the Chairperson of Finance. Thank you.
Councillor Imran Musa, do you accept?
Yes, I, Councillor Imran Musa, accept the nomination.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Niemand.
Baie dankie Speaker vir die geleentheid. I, Councillor Gert Niemand, hereby nominate the name of Councillor Franco Karel de Lange to be elected as the Chairperson of Section 79 Finance in accordance with Rule 24 of the Standing Rules and Orders of this Council. Baie dankie.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Alexander.
I, Councillor Wendy Alexander, second the nomination of Councillor De Lange as Chairperson to Finance in accordance with Rule 24.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor De Lange, do you accept?
Thank you, Speaker. I, Councillor Franco Karel de Lange, humbly accepts the nomination. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just to make sure, is the door still closed? Is all the councillors in? Thank you. As with the previous one, we will start with those that agrees to the nomination of Councillor De Lange. please raise your hands. Please raise your hands. Thank you. Can we count?
Babaso. Zakhal. You can put your hands down on top. Are you done on my right-hand side? You're done. Thank you very much. You can put your hands down. Councillors, those that agrees with the nomination of Councillor Imran Musa, please raise your hands at this time. Thank you, councillors. Councillors, please. Can we count?
Thank you. Is it done on my left? Is it done? Okay. And on top? There's nothing on top. Okay. Thank you, councillors. You can put your hands down. Councillor Moerane. Is there any abstentions? Any abstentions on both? Any abstentions? Can we please count the abstentions? Mzimela, the abstentions, please. Thank you. Thank you, councillors. You can put your hands down. Thank you. Councillors, this is the results. There is 27 abstentions on both. 140 for Councillor De Lange and 100 for Councillor Musa. Thank you. Thank
Speaker.
you.
Speaker. Speaker. Please.
Councillor
Arnolds.
Arnolds.
Speaker, what we have in the numbers is not mathematics, it's arithmetic. Because you have 140 that voted for Councillor De Lange, you have 27 that abstained, you have 100 that voted for Councillor Ishmael, it gives you 247.
267.
267. Try count properly.
267.
Councillor, okay.
Thank you.
Calculator.
Speaker, can I be protected?
More than 5 fingers on the hand.
Thank you, Councillor.
Can I be protected?
Okay, continue.
Sit down.
Who's
Councillors,
that?
please. Please.
Who's that, ma'am?
Councillor
Councillor,
Arnolds,
Speaker.
you are protected. Thank you.
Thank you for protecting me. There is an apology because I counted 220 wrong. Thank you.
Thank you.
But there's 253 councillors, and it's not 267 councillors. It's 253. So ek is nog. I'm still right. You got 267, there's 253, according to what you said. Can we have a roll call? Ek dink ek is nou reg. The numbers are not telling, Council Speaker.
Councillor Arnolds, please, I think I've given you the figures. This is what is in the House. Can we please continue? We all
But
tired,
noted,
it's
we
hot
out.
in here. Thank you. Councillor, you raised your hand. I can't see the name from here. If you'd like to rise at this point.
Thank you, Speaker. You said earlier when we had the voting, there was 222 and 35. That gives you 257.
Yes.
And now suddenly it's 267. So I will go according to rule number 86.2, where we demand a roll call, please. Thank you.
Okay. We'll allow for the roll call. Councillor Alex Christians.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, the demand for a roll call is very clear in terms of the numbers. There must be a difference in votes of 5 hands. There is a huge difference, so we do not have to go for roll call. Thank you.
Thank you. I think correct, Councillor Christians.
It's not working like that.
Councillors,
Never.
can I explain something so that we have clarity? I have said to you, when we counted, and obviously we counted from the registers outside, we had 257 correctly said, right? And obviously I've asked that some councillors please go and sign the register. Now in the council chamber, we've got more than those that actually signed outside. And Councillor Christians is absolutely right. If there is more than 5 difference, it's more than that. So why should we go into a roll call?
Speaker.
Thank you very much.
Speaker.
Councillor Msitla.
Speaker.
Councillor Msitla.
Thank you, Speaker. So I just want to ask, people who have not signed the register, automatically it means they are not part of the meeting. Why are you involving them in the meeting?
Councillors, I don't know who is not signed. And obviously all councillors sitting on the floor here is councillors. Please, let's just continue.
Speaker.
Thank you very much.
Speaker.
We're going to continue.
Speaker.
Those are the figures.
Speaker. Speaker.
Congratulations, Councillor De Lange. Thank you.
Can we also congratulate Nontenja as Speaker?
You didn't. Yeah, you didn't congratulate Councillor Nontenja. You didn't.
I did congratulate Councillor
Do it
Nontenja.
now. Azukuzwanga.
I did.
No, redo it. Do it.
Just to repeat it again, congratulations, Councillor Nontenja.
Allow us to clap.
Oh my God. Thank you, Councillor.
You see, that's progressive.
Speaker, can we have water, please?
Somebody spoke.
ANC,
Is
it
it
seems
water?
like we both got nothing, guys.
Speaker, can we please have water? Ons gaan dood.
Okay,
An aircon.
Just give an indication and they will come and assist you.
Kan ons dit water asseblief, meneer? Baie dankie.
Please table recommendations to council.
Item 6, recommendations to council.
Executive Mayor.
Thank you, Speaker. I hereby table the executive report. Thank you.
Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I hereby table the reports from the legislature.
Item 1, tabling of the draft 2020-21 City of Johannesburg Group Annual Report for the year ended 30th June 2021.
Thank you, councillors. There's no speakers. It's just for noting. Councillor Musetla.
Thank you, Speaker. Earlier on, you mentioned that you don't know how many people have attended the meeting. So we are requesting roll call to check how many members are in council and have signed the register so that we don't have problems when we move with the other items. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Msitla. We will go and check whether the number outside on the register has increased, and we will report back. But in the meantime, this item that we just read out was for noting. We'll continue while the legal advisors is checking up there. Is the item noted? Thank you very much.
Item 2, determination of the valuation date and the designation of the municipal valuer for the general valuation roll 2023.
Councillor David Green.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to speak. It is always a privilege to represent the interests of the citizens of Johannesburg. We as Action SA have a recommendation document, Item 2, Valuation Services. The Municipal Property Act 6 of 2004 determines that a municipality must compile a general valuation roll at least every 4 years. The Council's request in 2020 for an extension of 1 year was granted by the MEC. Therefore, the current general valuation roll that started on the 1st of July 2018 will expire on the 30th of June 2023, necessitating the need for a new date and municipal valuer. We are thus in favor of the 3 recommendations put forward by Council, namely, the 1st of July 2022 as the valuation date for the next general valuation roll. Second, the implementation of the new general valuation roll to start on the 1st of July 2023. And third, designate the Director of Valuation Services, the capable FPJ ELOF, as the municipal valuer of the general valuation roll to be implemented on the 1st of July 2023. Action SA notes with pride that this will be the first time that the city will appoint an internal person as the municipal valuer, and we welcome this move to choosing local. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Phillips.
Thank you, Speaker.
Before you speak, Councillor Phillips, I have asked that the Chair of Chairs chair for a few minutes while I go for a comfort break. Will she please come up? Thank you. Councillor Phillips, you can continue.
Thank you, Speaker, and greetings to the Executive Mayor, Mayoral Executive Committee, the Mayoral Committee, and fellow councillors. Speaker, the Good Party welcomes the report with concern, obviously, noting that there are around plus minus 15,000 appeals and Section 52 reviews on the general valuation of 2013 that are still to be considered. This is concerning given that the International Property Tax Institute, or IPTI, determined that the city's current system, apologies, Speaker, my phone seems to be disrupted. Presiding officer, can I be excused? My phone is disrupted due to an incoming call. Apologies. Thank you, Speaker, presiding officer, for indulging my little boo-boo there. So this is concerning, given that the International Property Tax Institute determined that the city's current system is outdated with lack of functionality, resulting in the city temporarily not being able to use the system due to it not having a valid support and maintenance system in place. We also note with concern that in accordance with the Municipal Property Rates Act number 32, subsection 1, the recommendation to designate the incumbent Director for Valuation Services, Mr. FPJ Ilof, as the municipal valuer, as opposed to someone in a private practice, which the very same Act also makes provision for. What is comforting is the fact that according to this report, there are no financial implications. But what is discomforting is the discomforting fact revolves around the fact that this report does not outline the reasons for such a recommendation, apart from the fact that Mr. Ilof is a registered valuer that works for the city. Our view is that it would have been more comforting, especially for the residents of the city, to know that the designated municipal valuer is from a private practice as opposed to from the municipality itself. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor. Next, we have Councillor Zandra.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Madam Presiding Officer, Charles Pigai once said, and I would like to quote, he who does not bellow the truth when he knows the truth, make himself the accomplice of liars and forgers. I close quote, Presiding Officer. The July 26 movement, the only genuine leftist and the fastest growing revolutionary movement in the world, rise to note the report that seek to request Council to approve that the 1st of July 22 be the evaluation date for the next general valuation role of the city. Speaker, over the years, the city of Johannesburg has been making blunders, flops, and errors on its valuation. And the city finally admitted in public to making an error in its valuation role in a meeting between Mayor Mashaba and Premier David Makura, where they had to deal with complaints from the general public and residents about this issue of valuation. After introducing this flopping valuation model, the city appointed the corrupt center premier and service providers in the course of the introduction of that failed valuation model. And as a result, there was a huge overvaluing of the properties of our residents. Abokoko, the elderly people, we had to pay extra for the overvaluing of pensioner properties, some which they had to go to more than 5 million. Hence, the EFF is calling for the Delayed Action-Led Administration, which is DA, to abolish tenders and use consultants. The COJ municipality under the delayed action, which is the delayed government, is riddled with corruption, and there are no consequence management as municipal officials and politicians are held accountable. Even the director for valuation service, Mr. FPJ Elof, claimed in his CV that he has been working in this evaluation department since 2008. And this gentleman was part of those blunders, flops, and failures that has cost the senior residents and the elderly and the residents of the blunders that I mentioned above under his watch. What changes will he be bringing in the city? That shows that putting him there is just a fallacy. This problem of overvaluation of our customers is still going to happen. Once again, the delayed administration is looking to go on tender to source a new valuation system. The delayed action DA-led municipality depend on tenders to deliver most basic services, which speaker I've mentioned before, quoting Charles Pegay that, as attested, he who does not bellow the truth when he knows the truth, make himself the accomplices of liars and forgers. Presiding officer, today you want to assure the resident of Johannesburg and Charles Pegay that EFF does not belly the truth when it knows the truth. And the EFF will never be accomplices to anti-black, anti-poor, delayed action, liars and forgers that are hell-bent on delaying the service delivery for the resident of Johannesburg. COJ municipality under the delayed action, anti-black and anti-poor government is riddled with corruption. And therefore, as the EFF, we want to make sure that we want the valuation process to be done internally. We don't want anyone from outside to be employed to deal with this matter. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor. Next is Councillor Nkongu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Greetings to all councillors in the House and the residents of the city. Correction, Councillor Nkongu. Okay. Pan-Africanist Congress of the People of Tanzania and note the report. However, we would like to raise a concern about the valuation services not being provided effectively to the city residents. Why it takes so long for the city to implement a recommendation made by the International Property Tax Institute? It was found that the current system is outdated and lacks functionality. Even worse, currently, the city does not have a system for valuation services, as the VA-18 system is temporary, non-functional. The Pan-Africanist Congress of People of Tanzania appeals to the city to expedite this process so that we don't disrupt effective service delivery to our communities. Pan-Africanist Congress of People of Tanzania would like also to ask what criteria was used to nominate Mr. Elof as a candidate for municipal valuer position? Mr. Elof is surely not the only person who is registered as a professional valuer in terms of the Property Valuer Profession Act. Can we consider looking at other candidates who may be from previously disadvantaged background but with similar credentials? Otherwise, we know the report on the condition that the two matters be looked at isolated.
Thank you, Councillor. Next is Councillor Alexander.
Thank you very much. Good morning to all protocol observed. With regards to the next valuation role within the City of Joburg, as the DA, we support the recommendation of Mr. Elof, who has served as the Director of the Valuation Services with excellence over the years. He has done a sterling job as the Director within this department. Furthermore, we support the move to appoint the Municipal Valuer internally, and Mr. Elof's professional qualifications and experience speak for themselves. He is an excellent candidate for this position. We would, however, ask the City to prioritise the Appeals Board and ensure that the appeals processes of the Appeals Boards are fully functional. We ask that they focus on clearing the historical background and expediting any future appeals within the valuation roll cycle. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor. Next is Councillor Marima.
No, thank you very much, Presiding Officer. My surname is Marema.
Councillor Marema.
Not
my
Marema.
apologies.
No, thank you very much. The African National Congress supports the item and its recommendation. We are also noting and supporting the internal recommendation of Mr. Elof as the municipal valuer. But we want to also cite that these kinds of opportunities must also be given to, young people and the previously disadvantaged persons from the city of Johannesburg. I've had a chance to look at the curriculum vitae of Mr. Elof. Of interesting, he started his professional career in 1981, the year which I was born in. And he got his qualification in 1988. While I appreciate the experience of Mr. Elof, it is important that when he takes the report to the CM about the appointment of the assistant municipal valuer, he looks into people who recently qualified. The curriculum vitae that Mr. Elof has given does not really show much of the certifications in the process from 1988 to date. There was nowhere where we were shown whether he got or obtained a short course or a certification or some kind of training. And you can imagine what has happened from 1988 till today. And now today, the Democratic Alliance wants to bring these reports and make or have the residents of the city of Johannesburg to have confidence in the lesson learned in 1988 when we are in 2022. Yes, of course, I appreciate and want to welcome the views that the Action SA has said about the internal recruitment or looking at the internal skills. However, these skills that we are referring to, Action SA, it's from 1988. In 2022, please, let's take our residents serious, man. And again, Speaker, this report, there was an audit report. I'm not sure whether in 1988 there was metric or it was, you would go to university via standard 6 or grade 10. But I make this point quickly, that there was an audit report by the International Property Tax Institute. And they made recommendations about the current valuation roll system we're using. And those recommendations cited that the system is really outdated, and its functionalities in terms of carrying out the valuation role, it's outdated. And yet we bring somebody who qualified in 1988. Yo, Jesus. I think the report cites that the only good thing that we have here is the fact that it's internal. However, the contradictions of this qualification, and one wants to really get into that school that actually issued the qualification in 1988 and compare the subjects of valuations with the current curriculum in the school of thoughts. The ANC also hopes that Mr. Elof will deal with appeals and the reviews of GV 2013 that are outstanding. And the ANC believes that we should also fast track the BEC and the EAC and the IT specialists that are cited in the report to be dealing with the system itself, so that at least we can have a recent system. So I'm not too sure whether, there was no Twitter in 1988, in the 90s then, there was no technology of such, but the report cites that the IT specialists are going to assist with the system so that at least we can then comply with the International Property Tax Institutes. We're hoping that Mr. Elof will familiarize himself with the current systems, with the old qualifications. We note the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. MMC Sabadi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, councillors, for your input. And the one thing that I have noted is the support from the various political parties, which just tells us, Mr. Speaker, and continues to support the idea and the very fact that there is more that holds us together than that pulls us apart. The Appeals Board, we are all very frustrated with the backlog at the Appeals Board. The fact of the matter is, the Appeals Board is under the auspices, guidance and direction of National Province. COGTA, the MSC for COGTA, appoints the Appeals Board, and all the appeals, objections, reviews all go to the provincial government, and it gets dealt with from there. The only aspect that the city has in this particular case at this time is that we pay for the board members, but we have no control over who they are, where they are, how often they sit. We do currently have 3 appeals boards so that more can sit at a time, and we are currently requesting for a 4th board so that the backlog can be sorted out quickly. The fact that there are appeals outstanding does not in any way prejudice our residents for this valuation. So any objections, appeals or requests for review must take place when required. 1988 to 2022. That is indeed a very long and illustrious career. I was born before 1988. Mr. Elof has worked in Johannesburg in the valuation department since 1994. So he has 28 years of experience not only as a valuer, but as a valuer in the city of Johannesburg. He is well admired in his department, and his contributions have always been accepted and by all the political parties in this House. He is a lecturer at the university. He is invited to present at International Property Tax Institute, and he is registered at the South African Council of Valuers. And in order to maintain his registration at that council, he must conduct and participate in extra courses. And his professional status is currently current, so he does have other pieces of paper and other qualifications to back that up. The software. We have gone out to tender this week for the new software. The rates will only be applied on the 1st of July 2023, and so there is plenty of time to get in the new software, to process the valuations, and with me at the helm, having 35 years of programming experience behind me, we can rest assured that the software will be right on time by the 1st of July 2023. I want to thank the property unit for their tireless work at this time. The policy is out for review, and there are teams every night, every day, who are engaging with our residents. And so many thanks to them for their tireless work. Mr. Speaker, the recommendations are on page 2.4, and I trust that this Council will approve the report. Thank you.
Thank you, MMC. The recommendations are indeed on page 2.4. Is the recommendations agreed to? Thank you.
Item 3, City of Johannesburg Mfma in-year financial report for the period ended 30th September 2021.
Mr. Speaker.
MMC Savadi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Please may items 3, 4, and 5 be read together?
Items 4 and 5.
3 and 4 and 5.
3, 4, and 5.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Can you please table all of them?
Item 4, City of Johannesburg Mfma in-year financial report for the period ended 31st October 2021. Item 5, City of Johannesburg Mfma in-year financial report for the period ended 30th November 2021.
Thank you. MMC Ngobeni.
Thank you very much, Speaker, and greetings to fellow councillors. Special greetings to the President of Action SA, the patriot himself, Mr. Herman Mashaba.
Order, Speaker. Order, Speaker. Order.
And welcome that he last day in council today. We thank him for his leadership and for guiding us to what we have today, which is the fabulous 44 of Action SA. And we wish him well, Speaker. Speaker, thank you very much, and I agree with MMC that we should combine the 3 items. These 3 items, Speaker, they more or less give Council an idea of why we are tabling the budget that we are tabling later today. They speak to various issues of challenges between that time of September up until November, 30 November. The challenges that you pick up in this report are issues of revenue, which by end of November was sitting at less than 8%. They speak of challenges of expenditure by departments, which by end of November we were sitting at a deficit of about 1.9 billion. They also touch on issues and challenges of capex expenditure by department, which it's not a big challenge, and I think it can be overcome, but it was sitting at close to about 28% if you include commitments that departments have made. Most importantly as well, they show the challenges of the cash flow, the cash and cash equivalent of the city, which has decreased from the time when the Auditor General did his audit in June, which is now sitting at about 3.5 billion. These are challenges that I believe councillors will appreciate and will actually note that they inform the budget that will be tabled later today. We, however, note that the departments, particularly in finance, even then, before we came in, MMC, they had been trying to deal with these challenges, particularly with regards to the cash flow of the city. We note some of their interventions that includes pre-terminations and disconnections. We also note that the debt rehabilitation program, which is another item that I believe it's on the agenda, it's also one of those interventions that the department has been putting in place to try and deal with the issues of cash and cash equivalents of the city. But we are very happy that the MMC and the executive mayor have embraced Buya Mthetho as one of the interventions that we will be introducing towards the new financial year, so that we can be able to really target those that do not pay, especially if they can afford to do so. The city needs to be heartless when it does that. It must be unapologetic, and it must be able to see that businesses that are not paying, that are connecting to our systems illegally, they need to be targeted. And it must be done forcefully and consistently. It's very important that we must do so. Speaker, with those few words, we note the 3 reports that have been tabled by the executive. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Ngobeni. Councillor Shabangu, on both items, you see, item 3 and 4.
She has left, Speaker.
Councillor Shabangu gone.
Yeah, her leave of absence was for... she asked to leave at 12, as we noted it this morning.
Correct, thank you very much. Councillor Letamba.
Thank you,
all 3
Speaker.
items.
Fellow Councillor, distinguished guests sitting in the gallery. The EFF raised to acknowledge the report seeking Council to note the City of Johannesburg Mfma financial report for the period ended 30 September 2021. As the EFF Cardinal Pillar number 7, open access, corrupt-free government, society without fear of victimization by the state agency, the EFF will make sure that the executive official accounts for every single cent in the city of Johannesburg. the EFF realized that the actual year-to-year revenue has a negative variance of 0%, 37 million, and this is an indication that the DEA-led administration is failing on its obligation to manage the city finance. The EFF have noted with great concern that the actual operating expenditure is under budget by 5%, 824 million rand. The net result is operating suppliers of 286 million rand against a year-to-year budget, a deficit of 501 million rand. This is clear indication that the city finance are in deep crisis under the DA-led administration. As the EFF, we are concerned that the Mfma is not followed to the letter by the office bearer who have been entrusted with the finance of the city. It is surprised that the service delivery is at its lowest in most parts of the city, if not all. The delay in the report is not only an indication of incompetence, but the frustrated mass on the ground that we all took an oath to serve. We cannot wait to take over government, so this pillar becomes a realized and Joburg becomes a better city for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Arnolds on item 5.
Aibo, do we have cats here? Jesus. Thank you, Speaker.
Point of order, Speaker.
In the report tabled, the AIC noticed...
There's a point of order. Councillors,
Lord.
just as a point of order, Councillor Ashley Sauls the first.
Thank you, Speaker. My point of order, Speaker, some of us are believers in Jesus Christ in this house. And I would ask Councillor Arnolds to please withdraw her use of the name of Jesus in jest. She cannot say Jesus. Some of us worships and considers that name above every other name. I thank you.
Jesus was a Jew.
It's also her belief, Mos.
Yes.
If trying to be relevant was a person.
Councillor Arnolds.
Speaker,
Which rule is that?
just to respond on Councillor Ashley Sauls, he knows that I'm also a believer. He knows that I also stand behind the pulpit. So I believe in Jesus, and he had to guide me. Jesus has to guide me through these people in council.
Don't own Jesus.
Hallelujah. Can I continue, Speaker?
You don't owe Jesus.
Yes, Councillor.
Am I protected? Thank you,
You
Speaker.
are protected. Councillors, can we really just...
As the African Independent Congress, we know that the cash flow is less than the cash outflow, meaning the city is at risk of running out of money of its monthly expenses. In the report on the table, the AIC noted this issue of cash flow and inflow is far greater than cash outflow. The city's cash inflow was 5.4 billion, while the cash outflow amounted to 6.5 billion. This resulted in a deficit of 835 million. Speaker, this really is a concern to us. Speaker, a higher liquidity ratio means that the municipality has a more significant margin of safety about its ability to pay off its debt obligations. Can the DA-led government stop cash strapping the municipality and the AIC beg you? Revenue collection target is not met. The target for collection is not being met because the target was 90% for the reporting month, yet the city only collected 84.3%. This is shocking, looking at the fact that the DA mayor, Councillor Mpo Palazzi, colluded with Eskom to cut electricity for the city's residents in the name of increasing the city revenue collection.
Councillor
Point of order.
Arnolds, there's a point of order. MMC.
Proudly, Councillor Ginger. Thank you so much, Speaker. I would like to draw your attention that Councillor Arnolds must not mislead the House. She must bring proof that the mayor colluded with Eskom. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. Can I continue? The proof is in the pudding. As the report states, the DA and its allies continue to fail the city of Johannesburg decimally. The proof is in it.
Point of order, Speaker. Point of order, Speaker.
The councillor is done. Can I?
Oh, she's done.
Can I not allow you to raise a point of order? Thank you. Councillor Rambani. On all three items, please, Councillor.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, the executive mayor priority, the mayoral priority number 6 is to have a well-run city. Those three items, they help us with the evaluation when we do the new budgeting. And I believe, as Councillor Ngobeni has said, that they help us with the budgeting cycle when we are doing the adjustment budget. Those three items, they help us to plan and to actually understand how to do the adjustment budget. That is why I said the priority of this city is to have a well-run city by having an informed decision when we do our budgeting. The Democratic Alliance would like to note this report, and we also want to ask from the executive that the Section 71 report be submitted to the Section 79 committee for consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Mudupi.
Ye re ko leboe motsamaisi wa dipuisano ka khotla. Well, the ANC welcomes and supports item number 3, item number 4, and item number 5 without further inputs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Madupi. MMC Sabadi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to remind the House, just in case that had been forgotten, that the reports on the table are from September 2021, October 2021, and November 2021. The new local elections only happened on the 1st of November, and this multi-party government had absolutely no influence, input, or direction in any of the cash in and cash out that has been reported on here today. So through you, Mr. Speaker, to Councillor Arnolds, yes, The next few items do very definitely seek to put a stop to the hemorrhage of the money out of the city, and look forward to their support on the adjustment budget coming forward. I would like to thank Councillor Ngubeni for the support of the efforts that we are taking and have already started to take in order to bring more money into the city. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank Councillor Mshaba for his commitment to his country, and we wish him well in all his future endeavours. And we are definitely and scarily speaking in terms of billions, because if a 1.9 billion rand deficit does not scare us, then nothing will. These reports tell the story that underpins the rest of the financial items being tabled here today. I appreciate the support with respect to all our debt collection efforts and for the multi-party government's commitment to rooting out corruption, spending our residents' money wisely in the service of them. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. The recommendations will be on the various pages of the reports. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MMC. Councillors, recommendations on item 3. The report is for information and is therefore, is it noted? Item 4. The report is also for information. Is it noted? And then item 5, this report is also for information. Is it noted? Thank you very much, councillors. At this point, lunch is ready outside. Please be back exactly at 2:30. Thanks.